Okay, here we go. It's no secret that the world is a dark place. Just a little bit of digging on the internet and you'll find a seemingly endless void of horrible crimes committed on real innocent people. It's truly depressing to read about. Crimes that seem unreal, that were committed in our own country, in our own neighborhoods, in our own towns and cities, and by our own people. The laws and rules our country is built on don't always prevent the worst of humanity. Sometimes they encourage it, and sometimes these rules and laws screw over the innocent. It's bleak and it feels hopeless to read through. To know the fragile system our country is built on can turn on a whim and destroy anyone's life. The truth is, the world we live in isn't made of good and evil. Although there is plenty of good and plenty of evil, and between it all is deep gray. So how does one prevail? In a dark world where everything can go up against you, and there's a good chance no one will end up standing up for what's right. How does one maintain clarity, maintain conviction, hold your principles high above everything else, and come out on the other side a good person? These are the questions Hara-Kiri, Death of a Samurai tackles. Hara-Kiri refers to the self-disembowelment practiced by the Japanese samurai. It simply means stomach cutting. Most people may know this act by the name seppuku. Seppuku refers to the ritual and tradition of the action itself, while Hara-Kiri refers to the cutting of the stomach. Interesting fact, the last recorded act of seppuku I found was committed in 2001 by heavyweight gold medal judo practitioner Iso Inokuma. Anyway, with all that in mind, let's get into this. Hara-Kiri, Death of a Samurai revolves around the events after an unfortunate tragedy unfolds back in the Edo period of Japan. A mysterious samurai named Hanshiro Sugumo arrives at the castle courtyard of Lord Lee to request ritual death by seppuku. Most of the story from there takes place in flashbacks, as we're shown the tragedy that occurred a year prior at the castle's courtyard. This story is honestly difficult to talk about in detail past this point. Most of the basis of this story is the mystery and the reveals up until the climactic ending, figuring out the characters' motives and what exactly is about to go down. I'll get it out of the way quickly. The acting is superb. I do not know any Japanese, so when I watched this movie, I watched it with subtitles, which I prefer over dubs because I believe it helps keep you immersed in the performance. This is a very personal story with some very emotional scenes, and when those scenes unfold, you really feel the fear, the sadness, and the rage. These actors convey so much through expression and pronunciation. The way they feel comes across perfectly, even though I don't know the language at all. So I learned while researching the movie that it's actually a remake of a film called Hara-Kiri from back in 1962, written and directed by legendary filmmaker Masaki Kobayashi. I'm gonna have to check out some of his movies. I haven't seen any of them. It seems like his The Human Condition trilogy, Samurai Rebellion, and Hara-Kiri are considered highly rated classics. In fact, Hara-Kiri happens to have a 100% in Rotten Tomatoes. And from what I've read, it may be a tighter script than the new remake. Still, the same story, but better pacing. Eventually, I'd like to go back and watch Masaki's films, but for now, I'll still recommend the new one as it seems to have maintained the plot and it's more stylish thanks to the director, Takashi Miike, which is yet another well-respected Japanese director that I haven't seen in almost any of his work. Yes, I am guilty, but I will get to it. But yeah, Takashi Miike really imbued this film with style. This movie's cinematography feels like an homage to old Japanese cinema. I'm unsure exactly what it is about the framing of their wide shots. The symmetry on display really accentuates the drama just by looking at a shot of this movie and the way it's filmed. It really tells you so much about what's going on, which isn't new, but it is a tell of good cinematography. I'm honestly not really good at articulating my thoughts on cinematography, I'm just here saying it looks pretty, okay? Now, talking about the plot of this film, at least loosely, I was happily surprised by the direction the movie went. You see, this film almost plays out like a murder mystery. As I said earlier, you're constantly trying to figure out what's really going on and what the main character's motivation is. It's really fascinating, and I was worried the movie would end with a whimper, but at least for me, I thought it was perfect. It gave me what I wanted without jeopardizing the message of the film. I'm not sure everyone will share my thoughts on the ending, but at least for me, it did not disappoint. Recently, I was thinking about the prospect of Hollywood making their own version of this story. If you've seen this movie, then you know that's a truly horrifying idea. This isn't a movie that can be Americanized. It's so central to the plot that it maintains its Japanese focus. As I was saying at the beginning, this is a story about conviction and principles. I could think of very few groups of people in the world with more extreme, passionate convictions than the Japanese. A group of people who are willing to take their own lives just to regain respect. I think witnessing the story of a man maintaining his conviction during this time is really worth watching. And after finishing the movie, I've been somewhat struggling to form a grasp on the exact message of the film. Looking online, some people say this is a criticism of the samurai code, which I could see, though given how it ends, I'm not sure that's fully true. So I'll admit I don't have an answer. And not a ton of people seem to be talking about the movie. So if you happen to have watched it, maybe you can put whatever message you think it is in the comments, and I'll read it. So yeah, if you want an intriguing, dark, inspiring samurai movie with fascinating themes, then I highly recommend Hara-Kiri, Death of a Samurai. It's a well-written, well-paced film that is very likely worth your time. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me to the end. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up icon below, and if you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing. I've got plenty more films and eventually TV shows I can't wait to talk about, with more videos like this one, and even videos that'll be more of deep dive / retrospectives. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
An assassin! From Yarikawa!
Traitor! You would stab the Chido in the back!
No, Sakai! Control yourself. We are not criminals, like this man here. We are samurai.
He tried to kill you! He must answer for this crime with his life.
And look him in the eye. And teach him that samurai never acts out of anger or fear. And take his life with honor. When we fight, we face our enemy head-on. And when we take their life, we look them in the eye with courage and respect. This is what makes us samurai. Only cowards strike from the shadows.